Certainly live. Hello guys, how you doing? Good evening. Certainly page, holistic retreat. And here she is, everyone. She's coming on now. Hey James. Here she is.
Hi.
Natasha, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. I've better days. It was me this bloody it was my uncle's it was like my dad's best mate, a classmate, and because his funeral today, and you can't go. You have to watch it online. So
Oh no,
took
really?
me out of the game a bit today. Yeah, I had to watch it online. It's at least it was good that they could do that though. I think still.
Yeah.
But it was
It's a
nice
shame,
to still
though.
be there. Yeah, just a bad one of them days. But we've got to soldier on. How are you, my lovely? How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Loving them chairs.
They're not that clean at this half.
Oh, they look clean now. How you getting on? What you been up to? How's it all going for you? All this isolation business.
It's all right. I'm kind of used to it now. Like the thought of coming out of lockdown, I mean, we'll obviously probably go through this, is actually making me feel anxious.
Yeah. Well, so you say that again? Well, coming out of it.
Yeah, because I've got so used to. Oh, sorry. So used to now being in lockdown that coming out of it is now making me feel a little bit like, oh God, how am I
I think a lot of people's going to be like that. It's just saying we felt uncomfortable coming into it. Once the brain gets to use that through that 4 weeks of routine, we start to imprint it, and it starts to feel our familiar territory, and all of a sudden we start to go out again. That's why people, when people go to prison, my mate went away, and he come out on a day release after about 3 years, and he said all his family come round. He was out for the day. He said all his family come round. He said, I go running hide in the toilet. He said, I want to go back to the prison. He said, he got overwhelmed. You know what I mean? It's mad, isn't it? How your brain gets used to things.
Sorry, I'm just don't want it to drop again. They say that though, don't they? Like people that don't come out of prison normally re-offend so they can go back in.
Go back in, yeah, unconsciously, yeah, they get so used to it. But that would give me anxiety sitting in there. I'd go crazy, I would. At least we'd get out for a run and a walk and that.
Yeah, and go on our phones.
So what you've been doing to get through it? What's your sort of routine been? I know you're always busy, you're always live.
I've got it here actually. So I have this list that I got from Wilco's, and it says today's to-dos, and it has everything in priority. So my saviour has been writing, for me anyway, it's been writing lists.
And you're a fantastic planner, aren't you? I noticed that when I started.
You're very good. If I don't have my list, I either don't get the stuff done because I can't physically see it there. Because then, if it's down and I've not done it, I then feel the pressure to do it so I can take it off.
Yeah.
So yeah, lists have really been getting me through. The first 2 to 3 weeks, I was doing no exercise and I was drinking alcohol every day, and it was, without me realising, it was just plummeting me. It was horrendous. I've not now had a drink in 3 weeks.
Haven't you? Oh, well
done. Enough was enough. I was drinking like a whole bottle of wine just sat on the sofa.
I think
and then
a lot
the
of
next day
people
to feel better. Yeah, like it was just a vicious cycle. Because I think the whole country's doing it. And the whole country was probably like, what else are we going to do other than drink? And I get it, and it's hard. And I would love to, even now, like sit and have a glass of wine, but unfortunately I have to do what's best for me. Definitely. And I just can't do that. I'm fine on the drink, it's the next day and the day after. It's the anxiety.
The depression.
Yeah. And then in turn you don't exercise, which helps relieve anxiety. So for me, definitely giving up alcohol, making sure I exercise. The things that no one wants to do, like no one really wants to exercise and give up alcohol. It's hard. Like you've got to have self-discipline, but
that routine helps.
So what? Sorry,
routine. I mean, and before we start, let me just introduce myself. I'm Robert Hisee, the #1 UK's unconscious mind therapist, and we have the lovely Natasha Sandhu today, model, influencer, nice person through. So today we've come on to talk about the mind and anxiety, and I had the pleasure to meet and work with Natasha, and because she's been through a lot of anxiety in the past and some other bits and pieces, and the idea of it is to sort of, why we're talking about this routine now, is to sort of give you ideas how to get through this time. I know we're a bit into it now, but some people are still struggling, and I know myself, I'm not very detailed or planned at all, but I've found even I've got to have my little structure every day. I get up and have a 5-mile walk. I come back and I might do the shopping or something. I'll go for a run in the afternoon, and then I'll get my bits done for Instagram, and I move on. You know, I've got a little pattern, and it's really helped me. So it's the first time I've really sort of been so organised. But and I think it's helping people, you know, at the moment. So, well, I think the people getting through it are having to realise that, you know, this is going to end when it's going to end. There's nothing you can do about it. No good worrying about your job or what you could have done. It's more about let's crack on, get our heads down, and get through it together.
Yeah.
But how about so anxiety is, like, you know, it's a big fashion word at the moment. You know, everyone's got anxiety. What worries me is that people are putting their focus on it too much. And as we discussed about the reticular activating system before, what you put your focus on is what you become, basically. Yeah. So by focusing on anxiety, your reticular activating system is going to start to, you know, find you more proof throughout the day you have anxiety. The more you say you have anxiety, the more you're going to start noticing it. So it's more about people trying to think about what they want instead of what they don't want. You know, and putting their focus on, you know, the towards two things instead of trying to come away from the problem, trying to focus on going towards their goals. So what have you been doing to focus on things? Have you found yourself through your anxiety? Because I know at one point you was suffering bad, but now, you know, I see you. You know, we spoke about visualizations, and I remember you saying, Rob, I want to get this. Was it a Rolex you was visualizing at the time?
Yeah.
And the car, I think. If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
And you put these things. You put your reticular activation system to work, and now you have your lovely Rolex and your car, don't you? And
yeah,
you know, and I think you even left your job. Is that correct? You went to Vegas as well. That was
so I had an appointment with you, and it was in February of it was like a couple of years ago now.
Yeah.
And I said, and you was like, close your eyes, tell me what you want. And I was like, I want a new car, I want a nice watch, I want to go to Vegas, and I want to quit my job. That was February. And you was like, you've just got to keep telling yourself you want them things every night before bed, every morning, visualize it.
Yeah.
And by October of that year, I had done all of 4 things. I'd got watched the car, I'd been to Vegas, and I'd quit my job and started working for myself. So, I do very much believe what you say, like you get what you visualize. And I think what you said, like about the RAS system, is so true, because if you focus too much on something, whether it's good or bad, then things can materialize. And that's actually happened since we've been in lockdown, actually. And I did actually think to myself after, have I caused that bad thing to happen? Sorry, it's my dog. Because I was walking Ralph, my dog, in the park, and I keep panicking it about letting him off the lead, and I keep saying to my partner, but he because my dog will run up to any dog ever, he thinks they're all friends, and I keep saying, but what if he runs up to a dog and he gets attacked? And I kept saying it every time he went on a walk. I kept saying it, kept feeding that thought the energy. And then yesterday on the walk, we let him off, he's ran up to a dog, the dog's grabbed him by the neck, attacked him, shaking him, you know. Yeah, it was horrific. And I thought to myself, I did think to myself after, you know, I've manifested that thought, even though it's a negative one.
Yeah, you didn't mean it. You didn't mean it. Because you sometimes protection barrier kicks in. You think, oh, I don't want that to happen, so I protect it. But sometimes it does the opposite. Like, I had a rapper on last night called K Coke, yeah? He's always in and out. Every time he goes to smash it, he ends up in prison again. And he said he's changed this new album, because the last album he done before he went away, he said, I just released this album. It was all about going to prison and all that. He said, I ended up straight back in the nick again for 8 months. He went, I've come out. I'm like, sod that now. Do you know what I mean? I'm changing my direction. So now he's focusing on positive things. He said, before I tried doing both, I was trying to do the bad and the good together. It ain't working. So, but now I'm focusing on the moving forward side. And
and even if, like, I think everyone in this situation as well is probably arguing with loved ones, their family members or their partners. And even if you're like, oh, if we're going to keep arguing, we're going to break up. I think if you think them things enough, you will end up driving down that path. So it's so important with regards to whether it's a negative or a positive thought to focus on, try and not focus on those negative thoughts. Exactly. I do think subconsciously you can really do
definitely. Yeah. And if anyone's watching, please Google the reticular activating system and really study it. Because to me personally, the more you understand that, the less you've got to worry about therapy. Like it's just one simple thing, and it doesn't matter what therapy you have. This is still working all the time. So it's more about putting your focus on what you want and training your mind to focus on what you want instead of what you don't want. But the problem is the schooling system's designed not to make creators. It's been designed to make good workers, or get a good career, right? Get a good career. So by doing that, if you start working for someone, you go into a career mode, you're taught how not to make mistakes. So through the schooling system, the old learners how not to muck up your life, how not to fail your exams, how not, it's the way of thinking is just sort of program how not to make mistakes. So what we end up putting our RAS system on is all these mistakes. So one thing happens is that we have this great visionary goal, and instead of trying it, we think of all the things that can go wrong. So we sit in our sofa, think this great £1 million business idea, and then the academic mind kicks in and goes, yeah, but how are you going to get the money? How long's that going to work? Yeah, but say if you lose the house and you can't afford the mortgage, then what are you going to do? And all of a sudden, before you've even got off the sofa, you spoke yourself out of it and put it to bed. And this is the way the mind's been moulded. But what I always say is, what I always say about everything gets made twice. First inside the mind as a vision, as an idea or a thought, then it gets created outside here as a thing or an object. And I think people have still got to realise that you've got to walk forward. You've got to focus on what you want, not what you don't want. Look towards what you want, the future. Because I said, but if you walk forward looking backwards, you're walking through a bloody wall. Do you know what I mean? You cripple your face or get run over. So, why do we do it? If we do that in our thoughts, we don't do it in reality. So use your thoughts in the correct way. If you can look in front of you, you won't walk into a door because you'll open it. Do you know what I mean? You can shut it behind you if you choose. So keep focusing on what you want. So it's interesting that you're saying that, but that you've looked at that from the other perspective, because we all keep talking about, visualize, but it's good, I think, what you've just said there. I like the fact that you've got to be careful what you don't want, because that's going to manifest itself in more shapes and forms as well, ain't it, Natasha?
Yeah, like, I think as well, and when we spoke, something that really has helped me, and I still use this analogy when I'm talking to other people as well, was the sat-nav analogy.
Yeah, I use that still, yeah.
Yeah, I really love that. I mean, I'll let you explain it to everybody, but because I'm not sure if I do a very good job at...
No, you do, you're a great talker.
But I have used that a few times on other people when I can see someone struggling when they want something and they don't know how they're going to get there, and things like that. I do use that analogy that you gave me. I don't know if you want to...
Yeah, I'll have a go. Rick also always. What I said to Natasha is that the RAS system is like a sat-nav. So if you got in your car with a satellite navigation system, you have to put the postcode in, yeah? And what's your postcode? That's your final destination. That's your end goal, yeah? So that's a set of digits. Whatever the postcode is, you press enter, and the sat-nav will work it out for you, yeah? Your mind's the same. The RAS system works the same way as a sat-nav. So when you put your postcode in the sat-nav, your brain gets the vision. So that's the end. But you have to put like the outcome, just like the postcode's the end goal where you want to get to. The vision's the end goal that you want to achieve. So you put that in, and just like a sat-nav, and the mind works the same, that it sends a vibration into the universe. So the sat-nav sends it to a satellite, it pins it back down and pinpoints where you are. It's like Tom, Rich, yeah. But that was quite funny, yeah. So it sends it to the satellite, brings it back down, and the sat-nav works it into a map. It don't tell you the whole journey. It just goes, right, in 100 yards, take it left onto Mount Harry Road or something, yeah? 300 yards, take the full exit. It tells you every little step when you just need to know. It don't tell you the whole destination. That's the same as the sat-nav. So you put the vision in your mind, and you allow the RAS system to go to work. And once this goes to work, as your each day comes, it works out information and goes, well, why don't you try this? Why don't you go and speak to her? Now, sometimes it makes you watch something on TV that you normally wouldn't watch. Sometimes you speak to someone and ask a question that you wouldn't normally ask, but it's trying to get information. It's all done unconsciously. And the sad thing is that more people have more faith in their sat-nav than their own mind. That's one thing that really worries me, is that no one puts these things in their mind and expects them to come. They try being the map. They try working out the journey. Every single piece of data, every piece of the journey, remember it all. It's impossible. It's a bit like if I said to you, Tash, on your next journey, what car's going to be at the traffic lights in 15 minutes time when you go down to the M25? You couldn't tell me, because you'd never know. So but the sat-nav's going to get you to your destination. So don't focus on the journey, focus on the destination. So your RAS system's your vision, the thought of what you want. The sat-nav is the postcode, and that's the story behind that one.
Yeah, that's what I tried to say, is that no matter, like, some people, the journey might just be so straightforward and easy, and they just get it quite quick, and some people might hit a few roadblocks, a few bumps, a few roadworks.
But you still know you're going home.
But you still get to the end destination, yeah. So yeah, I find that a really powerful way of explaining things. It just helps people not really give up on what they want to get, and what their end goal is. Because you can get there. Some people might just take them, you know, a bit longer than others.
You've come on well a long way, and you look at you now, like you're flying, like you're on every time I look on Instagram, you're up doing something and you're doing really well, and you've created it all yourself, you know what I mean? And it's been fantastic to see you just keep getting better and better and bigger and better, you know? So what's in store for your future? What's your new vision, Sash? Because I know you have some goals.
Well, it was like, yeah, like one of my, and I can't remember whether when we spoke it was a goal, because my confidence has come on so like leaps and bounds, so my goalposts keep changing. But something I set myself probably about a year and a half ago was that I really wanted to get into like TV presenting and talking on TV and things like that. Or like even just talking like publicly, whether it's filmed or not. And then eventually back in February, I did a TV presenting course with Darren Simmons, who's been in the industry for like 30 years. And that went really, really well. And off the back of that, they actually wanted me to do some presenting work. And I actually booked 2 jobs. And then obviously this has all happened. So yeah, that's my next focus really, and my next goal. And I didn't think, if you'd have said to me, like maybe even when I met you, or, you know, maybe even back then, if you'd have said that that's what I'd be aiming for now, I'd have been like, there's no way I'm going and speaking publicly in front of people. So it just goes to show that, like, if you set that goal for yourself, you can actually get there. And
I've seen you talk on radio, like in front of me, and you're amazing at it. You know, you're really organised and structured, so you know you do your research. So you know, I think you'd make a good presenter, amazing presenter. Can imagine you on the X Factor soon, next couple of years.
I don't know if I'd ever be that confident.
Get him the sack, that Dermot, out of it. Get him out of it.
Oh God, no! I'd live TV. I don't know if I'd be any confident, any good at. But this is why, because obviously you did speak to me this morning and was like, we're going to do the chat later. Do you want to speak beforehand? And the anxiety side of me normally would be like, yeah, let's talk. I want to know exactly what I'm going to say. I want to know exactly what you're going to ask me. But I try to push boundaries now, and that's why I was like, you know what? No, I don't want to talk to you because I don't want to pre-plan anything. I just want it to be a natural conversation. And yeah, otherwise I'm going to be like, oh, I forgot to say that thing and I forgot to say this thing. So yeah,
that's amazing. Who's your sort of, any influences you got through the sort of, who's your sort of vision? Who, like, you know, would you look up to in that sort of industry? Who's your sort of? You know? I
mean, obviously everyone's favourite is Holly Willoughby, isn't she? But I'm never going to be as good as her. I know that. I feel like they did ask me, then they was like, you know, what kind of presenting do you want to go into? I know I'm not going to be a news presenter, like, or anything like that. I have to do what fits me. So it's going to be more like entertainment, fun, light-hearted. Yeah. But yeah, it's nice to have a goal, and like I said, I think it's important for. I mean, we've been over this before with the whole: you get married, you have kids, and then what? I think it is important to always set yourself a new goal, and if you feel you've reached what you wanted to achieve in life, then make a new one.
Raise your standards, definitely. Because a lot of my clients, they always say to me, "I just want to be happy." And being happy is not being happy isn't something that you get in the here and now. Happiness is something while you're moving forward. The minute you stop moving forward, you can't be happy. You might have like this moment of achievement when you hit a goal and you go, boom, this big wave of, yes, I'm the business comes over me. But once you get to your goal and you have this big happy emotion that you've achieved it, there's only one way it can go. It can become normal. Then you get caught in the here and now and you've got no goal in front of you now. So that's just going to start being mundane. And then if you ain't got a new goal to create, you're going to start going, your thoughts are going to go back into the past again, and we're going to start creating that depression again. So we need to keep moving forward. We need these visualizations of your next step. And I'm glad you said that, because I see a study not long ago of Anthony Robbins. You know Anthony Robbins, right? And he was with Michael Jordan. And he said to Michael Jordan, what makes you the best player in the world? He went, because you're not the fastest player in the world. You're not the strongest. He went, and you're not the best shooter in the world. He said, what makes you the best player? And he said, because there was no coach that could push me further than I could push myself. He said, so if I went in with a coach and the coach went, I don't know, we've got to do 200 shots at so many yards, I'll do that. I'll go back to my basketball court and I'll practice another 200 shots. Even if the coach said you've all got to run 6 miles a day, I'll run 9 miles a day. If I had benched whatever kilos, he'd put another 50 kilos on or whatever, yeah? So he said, I always raise my own standards. He said, I'd always make sure I mentally push myself further than the coach, any coach could. And he said, when they looked at the stats, there might have been someone on the team that might have been at like 97% accuracy at shooting, but Michael Jordan might have been at 95. Yeah, so he was way up there. He was in the top gap, like the top few, but he might have been number 5. And at running, there might have been someone that could beat him by like, I don't know, a few seconds. And his speed was just like, so they might be 98, he might have been 96, right? And then at strength, someone could have been a little bit heavy, lifting a bit more heavy weights, a bit more stronger. But he was in the top category all the way along. And there were some other ones they took. But the other guys that was a little bit better than him at shooting dropped right down by about 80% or 60% when it comes to the running or the strength. So their charts were like this.
They're
so
really good at
just went straight across the top because he pushed himself on every single thing, and he said that it's raising your standards. So and that's what I think now. People have got time to sit and raise their standards. You're sitting indoors, you've got no excuse. And as you said, it's good to write things down, like write your goals out. Write a month goal, a 3-month goal, a 6-month goal, a year goal, a 5-year goal, and sort of have a look at a picture of, and you can change the map, as you know, you can change that. Things can change, and you might think, you know what, I don't want that one now, I want this one, so that's okay too. Do you ever do anything like that, Tash? Do you ever write any stuff down?
Yeah. I've got a few books dotted around here and there that I'm sure I'll come across like under my bed and things like that, and I'll see a goal and I think, God, I remember when I wrote that. And I know I've sometimes wrote down like, just what everyone wants in life. Like I want a family, and I remember actually, now you've just said it, I would have completely forgot about this. I have wrote in a book, I was flying somewhere and I was reading The Secret actually, and I think it said write down what you want in life. And I remember putting a dog, and obviously now I have my dog. So I'm realizing that's going to happen.
And you've met a lovely man, so the wedding might get yourself a nice hat.
Once we're out of lockdown. So I think even if you write these things down, like I said, I don't know where them books are now. I know that I've written them down and they're somewhere. Maybe they're not, maybe they're lost, but I wrote them down, and subconsciously I think as long as you know deep down what you want from life, there's no reason why you can't get it. I don't think. Even in lockdown situation, I know that it's tough, but you just have to motivate yourself, because nobody is going to do it for you right now. Everybody's focused on themselves and worrying about themselves. So the only motivation really you're going to find, I do think, is from within. And it's hard. Like, I know that it's hard. There's been days where I can't, I'm like, no, I'm writing today off. I can't find the motivation. And if I have a day like that, I just allow it, rather than try and make myself feel bad. And beat myself up for feeling that way and for having a bit of an anxious day, because I just know that the next day I can just start again, and I can just start fresh with a better mindset. And that normally is what happens. Whereas if I try and force myself, I'll do a half-hearted job of something, and then I'll feel even worse. So like I think be your own motivation, but also don't be too hard on yourself if you're not feeling up to something.
Definitely listen to the body, ain't it? Sometimes it's listening to your emotions, and sometimes it's telling you no, isn't it? And you can push yourself too hard, and that's when if you're training, you get injury, or if you're feeling down, you can get ratty and cause a bad mood. So so what would what's your outlook on this whole corona thing at the end? What do you think it's going to be like after? Because I'm thinking it's got its downsides, but I think people are going to want to get out and have some fun. I think it's going to bring people together, because there's no race divide, there's no nationality divide, there's no country divide. Like, we're all in the same boat together, and this thing can get you off a bottle top. So it's like, I think it's really brought people together. Like if you walk down the street, everyone's so I've never seen so much respect in the street. People letting you pass, people crossing over the road, everyone's saying hello, the birds are singing.
You're
I've
so
never seen
right. Like,
so much manners on the street. Hello,
yeah, me and my partner have been walking my dog up and down the street, and he's lived here most of his life, and he's speaking to every single person. I'm like, do you know them? Do you know them? And he's saying, I have never spoken to any of these people in my whole life. He's like, I don't know what it is. I'm now the village, you know, the village's best friend.
Yeah.
So it's like, you're right. And like, I even find myself sort of in the supermarket, I'm sort of looking at everyone, making sure they're okay, giving them a little smile. Like I think it has made people a little bit softer towards each other.
Which is a good thing, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think people are we've got a newfound respect for people
humanity.
People that were actually, I think, taken advantage of before, like, you know, the staff that work in Tesco's and that are actually doing you a service right now, you probably would have looked down on before because of their job. So yeah, I think that's really, like, newfound respect for everyone is really nice. I know the NHS clap is obviously tonight at 8. I always go out and do that. It's a shame it's took for people to actually stop taking them people for granted, but you know, at least eventually we got there in the end. So I just hope that, like you said, when we open again, that we don't forget that, and we don't forget these bus drivers and train drivers and people that most people would never want to do that job are now risking their lives so that everyone else can sort of continue a little bit. So
it is amazing. And like, even when everyone goes outside at 8 o'clock, because tonight, and I think I'm going to go outside, everyone's clapping, pots and pans, you know, like I've never, you know, everyone seems to know each other now, as you said, or, you know, everyone's smiling, it's always polite, where normally people walk past, head down, you know, you might get that now and again without a smile, but I think it has brought some sense of community back. But yeah, so with the visualizations, I keep telling people, keep looking forward throughout this time. I think, you know, it gives me a lot of the time to reflect. I mean, I've got some, don't get me wrong, it ain't all good. I've got a lot of problems of my own with, like, my business. You know, I've got the holistic retreat out in Spain. Well, I've just got a new long-term place in Barcelona, and I've been out there getting it all ready for this season. Put 12 more new beds in there, and already got beds in there as well downstairs. We've got chippers in there, decorators. It's all out there, and I'm just sitting there like that. What am I going to do? People can ring up, going, oh, what are you going to do? There's nothing I can do. Do you know what I mean? What am I going to do? If I have to start again, I'll start again. It don't matter to me. It's like, you can't lose that vision. It don't matter how many times things come up and knock you down. You just got to get up and keep going. And this is what I'm telling people, to be successful. Like, as you said, over these last couple of years, you've achieved all your goals, even in that first year. It don't mean it was always sunshine and roses, does it? You know what I mean? I mean, you get times when the world goes to crack, it knocks you down. You think, why have I been trying it? A bit of doubt kicks in. But it's a quote that Conor McGregor said that I loved, Tash, is what makes him successful is that he can visualize in times of struggle. Anyone can visualize a Mercedes-Benz with £1 million in the bank, but when you ain't got a penny and you can visualize it and you manifest it, that's success. Do you know what I mean? So I think in times of struggle, like, so it ain't all just, oh, let's visualize a picture, it's going to be lovely, because that journey is going to be, you know, as you said, like on the sat-nav, sometimes you get caught in traffic and you've got to divert. It might take you 3 hours to get home, where it's normally 45 minutes, but you still get home.
Yeah, and I just think, like, if that end goal is what you're visualizing and you come up against something and then you think, oh, I give up, then what's the point in the first place? Because then you're never going to get it. So you might as well just keep going. Otherwise, you really will just never get where you want to be.
So many millionaires have told me the same thing, that people ain't willing to go through that pain barrier, keep getting knocked and getting up and getting. They said, because it's hard to stay in there. He said, but once you get over the hill and you've been where no one else has been, and you once you've done it, you get to destination. You've never got to look back at that again. It'll, you know, the rewards are just, you know, way over reward what you've just been through. But it's getting through it that is the thing you got to stick with. And that's what, you know, they'll have this thing of being able to crack down when the tough going gets tough, and people say you can't do it. You know, come on now, time to walk away. You know what I mean? And they go, no.
And there are a lot of people like that in life. Like, I've had that quite a lot every time I want to try something new. Like, oh, but what if this happens? And what if this happens? And as soon as that self-doubt is planted in your head, then you're your own worst enemy. If you're like me and you're an overthinker and you're a worrier and you like, it can very easily be like, if I decide I want to do something, I have to act fast, because if I allow any self-doubt to start creeping in, I do find it hard then to not listen to that and think, well, actually, can I do it? And then you're right, I talk myself out of it. So I just have to channel whatever I want if I'm going to get it before that happens.
And that's okay, because we all do that, you know. It doesn't matter how good you are, how good you practice this stuff, you will get knocked off the wrong track at times. But it's knowing that you got to get back on and taking the time out to visualise again when you go to bed and visualise in the morning, and it will start to set itself. I wish it was as easy as visualise it once and you got to make twice. It don't work like that. We've got to keep visualising it, and it will serve its time, you know, it will come out. So yeah, it's just you know, anxiety at the moment for me, Tash, is getting a bit. People put so much focus on it, they're making themselves so ill focused on it. Like, there's these forums and chat rooms, they go in and say, oh, I had a panic attack today, and, oh, poor you, and I had one of them, oh, I know what it's like. And they're getting people with anxiety, reassuring people with anxiety, and then what they're doing is they're putting their focus on it, and they can't wait to get back on again at 10 o'clock at night to talk to their anxiety friend, and all of a sudden, you're putting your RAS system, and you think you're helping each other, you're doing the complete opposite. You know, the RAS system don't know what you want or what you don't want, what's good or bad. It just knows what you focus on is what you want, and it's quite worrying at the minute, you know, because where the RAS systems come out, psychotherapy and CBT are still using methods to keep talking about the anxiety. Yeah. And even though they've got the knowledge and the understanding that it's proven to be wrong, why aren't they changing the systems at the moment? That's what's confusing me. I keep asking the question, but, you know, they just like working in the past, and, you know, it takes 2 years to cure you and all that, and it's not true, you know. You should start setting yourself on the future and start facing the right direction. You're going to instantly start feeling a bit better. And within a month, you're going to start noticing quite big changes. Not saying you're going to be cured of it, but
I did find that the more I focused on, oh my God, I feel anxious again today. Oh, I feel like I'm anxious today. And then telling my mum and my sister, actually, I feel really anxious today. By the end of the day, I'm like, God, I actually do feel really anxious now, because it's all I've talked about all day. So it's important to talk to people and talk about how you're feeling. But you're right, like, accept that you're feeling anxious and you may be having a panic attack, but don't focus your energy on it. Just try and do something else. Try and do something that distracts you. Talk about it, obviously, where you need to. But yeah, I think you're right. I don't think that you should put too much energy into that emotion. You need to try and not really focus on it if you are having an anxious day. Like, we all know it's there. We can feel that it's there. But yeah, like you said, the more you talk about it and the more you're saying these things out loud, the more you're telling your brain, well, you are actually really anxious, because you're not talking about it.
And how do you, with your with your work on the Instagram and stuff, and how do you create your daily visions for the future? Or does it come like that, or is it just, do you let it just flow, or is there
I don't make any plans with Instagram. I don't think any further than a week ahead, to be honest, because it chops and changes all the time. And if I even try to put a plan into place, I can have a rough idea of how I want it to go, but then it can very easily all be turned on its head, and then I'm just going to constantly feel like I'm not getting anywhere with it. So it's really quite a flippant.
So it's done you a favour, really, because someone who's so organised and planned, having to learn to be spontaneous, must have been really frightening at the beginning to let go of that organisation a little bit. It must have been frightening.
It was. I did go into a bit of a panic because a lot of my work completely cancelled. A lot of it paused. Said we'll pick it back up when we're out of lockdown. You know, which is 6 weeks. It's a long time.
Yeah.
Some carried on, but said, you know, we're going to be working on a much lower rate. It was a lot of change for me. And at first, I felt the panic to still be posting every day, making sure everything looked perfect every day. But as time's gone on, I barely post too much. What I've realised is I was oversharing, and I was getting upset because people were commenting on my life. But then I thought, that's my fault because I'm letting it out there. Life. Yeah. Mm. And what I've now realised is to just stop. And I understand that sort of ruins it for the people that were enjoying them parts of my life, and a few people have ruined it for everyone else. But if I have felt I actually don't need to share anything with anyone anymore. And but I got to a point in my head where I thought, oh, I've not told everyone what I'm having for breakfast today, or I've not said good morning to everyone in my morning post. And so all that, a lot of pressure is lifted off me now. If I don't want to post for a whole, I don't think I've I was used to post every single day, and the pressure of finding an image and doing that was a lot. And I don't think I've posted in like 3 days now, and I still just don't care. So for me, it's really taught me to just chill out and not worry about what everyone else is thinking and saying and doing, and
exactly.
just do me on there.
I've seen a lot like with Dapper and things like that, and some of the things people say, and some of the other celebrities I spoke to, some of the things they get put on there, it's like, at first, it is an actual mental game they've got to learn to deal with and be able to shut off, because it's not normal when someone says these horrible things or starts coming out, you know. I mean, they're the ones you got to feel sorry for, because I always say, someone jealous of you can only look up at you. You can't look down at anyone you're jealous of. They're only admiring someone. It only reminds them that they're not you, or they ain't got what you want, or, you know, there's something that makes them feel insecure why they want to dig you. So it's really a compliment, if you like, you know, unconsciously. But it's quite sad that people just want to go out to get their attention. But, you know, the brain, how weird it seems is the brain only works in a positive intention. So even when someone does something negative, it can make them feel good. So it's a positive to them. It ain't positive, ain't positive as we'd see it, but it makes them feel good to get a reaction. And if someone gets a reaction that makes them feel good, then, you know, it's sad. It's really sort of like reframing, and I know it's easier than done, but not letting these people get to you, you know what I mean? Like, well, you know, I just done is then as soon as I see any silly comments, I turn it off. I can't be bothered to look at it, because, you know, it ruins it for everyone else. Do you know what I mean? But I don't let negativity in my head. Just remove it. You know what I mean? It's like I won't watch the news unless I have to. Unless there's some big, you know, something really big happen, I might have a little look at it, or I see it on Facebook or Instagram if it's that big. Otherwise, I don't want to watch the news and hear about kids being molested and shit like that. Because I've got kids, and I start thinking, oh, imagine if that happened to me. I don't want all that negative stuff. I'll get up and put my morning motivation on, get my mind set into gear, and, you know, and move forward. You know what I mean? And try to help as many people.
I've not watched the news in a long time. Not even with all the Corona stuff going on. Like, I'm sure if something big or important happens, someone in my family will tell me. But other than that, I don't need to be watching this. Like, you know, like you've said, Ralph. Sorry. I've completely stopped watching the news. I think you're right. I don't think that it's helpful.
Well, this is what I say to people: you've got to be careful who you surround yourself with, music you listen to, the things you watch on telly, because they're all influencing our thoughts. What you read, what you watch, what you listen to, what you talk about, they're influencing your thoughts for your life. And it's like a poison out there, because everything you read is going to be negative. They're lying about celebrities, they're lying about things. You know, you put the news on, it's negative and bad. You know, it's just there's nothing to influence you to feel good or to move positive. So you've got to put yourself out. You've got to make sure you watch the right films that make you feel good. Put on a bit of music that makes you feel happy. Put on, you know, read a book that's got some positivity in it. Put the morning motivation on. I keep saying this to everyone at the moment. Get up. As soon as you get out of bed and you're getting ready, instead of putting music on for the first 10 minutes, put a morning motivation on YouTube. There's loads of people with positive talking, and it's good to listen to while you're brushing your teeth, getting ready, and it starts to inspire your thoughts before your day's even started, before you put the telly on and see some...
Or before you start scrolling through your phone as well.
Yeah.
Really important. First thing in the morning, sometimes you'd pick up your phone, and even I, like, people must think because of my Instagram that I don't get all those feelings, but I do. Even I pick up my phone and see someone else that looks like they're slimmer, or they're healthier, or they're married, or they've got kids, or like they've got these expensive cars. Even I look at all of that, and if I look at that first thing in the morning, it's just, you start your day thinking, oh, like, why aren't I doing that? Why aren't I doing that well? Why don't I look like that? And it's just not a great way to start the day.
You've got that negative emotion to shake off now.
If there's I think as well, like, if you know, if there's a page that makes you feel bad about yourself, just mute the page. Don't torture yourself. Don't like look at
what I like about you, Tash, is that your honesty. I remember seeing you post before. You went, look at this picture, and you took a picture full, and you took a side picture once. You went, don't always believe what you see, and don't finish. And I really admire that you're always open and honest, and, you know, about things, and give people the right advice and truthful. So I think that's a lot of why, you know, you're so successful, because you're what's the word? Not values, but your values, and your, can't fit the word, but you know what I'm trying to say. You're honourable with what you're talking about, basically. Right? But that was made me laugh, that one. I thought, what a blind does. That's Stacey. But, you know, that is brilliant. Absolute brilliant idea. So, what's any advice you'd give anyone at the moment? Anything more you could say?
I think just like we've said, and I think most people probably know what's good for them. I know what's good for me, but you don't necessarily do it. But I just think minimal alcohol, if none at all. You know, look after your body, what you eat. It really does have an effect. So I think. Well,
did you know? I never knew this. My nutritionist at my retreat taught me this. 90% of serotonin is released from your gut, by what you eat. I never knew that. I thought it was all from the brain. Yeah, it's like only 10% releases from the mind. 90%.
Cashew nuts has something to do. I remember someone saying before, cashew nuts has something to do with replacing serotonin if you eat them. So maybe that's related to that. But
might have something that might trigger it off. Yeah. I was shocked with that one. 90% of serotonin comes from your gut. I know your endorphins and everything else comes from your mind, but the serotonin is unbelievable, isn't it? So food is a big part of feeling good.
Yeah, I do notice the decline in my mood if I'm eating junk food and white carbs and stuff all day. So yeah, I think just try and look after yourself, exercise, talk to people. The lists on my saviour, getting dressed. I think mentally, if you just get up, brush your teeth, get dressed, have a shower, and then start your day, it just feels better than if you're still in your pajamas at 12 o'clock. And I know we all want to be lazy in the situation, enjoy that we're at home, but I think it's really demotivating. For me anyway, I find it really helps just
I've just looked at the questions, and there's some people talk about CBD oil and all that sort of stuff. Have you ever tried that?
Yeah, I did. I did it for 2 weeks before all this happened. I was trialing some that I wanted to sort of do a little story on. But I did actually find it did really help. I was spraying it before bedtime, and I was sleeping, my sleep time reduced to about 6 hours. But it was fine, because it's all my body needed. I was getting a really good 6 hours sleep, and I was just naturally waking up at 6 a.m. ready to go all day. So I do think that it definitely helped me relax.
Yeah, I've tried it. I use melatonin. I've got ADHD. My sleep pattern's terrible, so I use sometimes I'll have CBD oil, sometimes use the melatonin. But yeah, I think it does make you feel relaxed. That's definitely a good one if anyone's not sleeping. You know,
for me, that's the only thing that I noticed there was a difference was my sleep. But you know, it's important, so it's big enough of a reason for me to.
Yeah, for me, it's good for me at night. In the daytime, it will be no good because it make me feel a bit too.
Yeah.
And I like that. You need the happy feeling to start creating. If you can get a bit lazy when you feel like not doing nothing. But it's good stuff. It definitely seems to be medically helping people. A few people have asked why not have because there's too many people putting silly comments, so I've had to turn it off. So sorry about that. But let me turn it off. So does anyone ask a sensible question before we go, Tash?
That's okay. You know, you always get these ones that bloody
just
everyone else.
And what's this? Absolute. I'm taking vitamins. Does it help? I think vitamins. I'd recommend anyone take vitamins. Definitely, you can't do you no harm. You're only going to wee out the rest of it. What your body can't take in, ain't do you no harm.
Yeah, I don't think.
Do you know what I mean? But well, everyone's saying hello. Tash, call me. Friends, where are you? I ain't seen you in ages. But yeah, well, Tasha, thank you for coming on. It's been a pleasure. And I say thank you. You're always honest about anxiety, and you're a good speaker. So thank you. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
I've probably kept you a bit long, but
no, that's fine. 45 minutes. Else to
do. Someone's asked meditation help, Tash. I think 1,000,000%. What do you think? Do you meditate?
I agree. I do think that. From what I've read up and heard, it's amazing. However, I am struggling. Like, I try, but my mind, and I understand it's a very hard thing to do anyway, but I can't even do 20 seconds before my mind's just all of a sudden I'm deep in thought about something else, and I'm not focusing on
this is because no one teaches it. Our Buddha invented it was to become mindful. Now, everyone's overdoing this mindfulness stuff. Mindfulness is cool. You've got to get into a mindful state before you can create. But it don't mean be mindful and just live in the moment, because then you're not going to create no future. So, you know, there's that generalization of things. Don't generalize everything. Everything has its purpose. So what happens is when you think too much, if you put a bit of music on, you close your eyes and you start focusing on the music, you listen to music, you start relaxing, Well, your brain makes 58,000 to 68,000 thoughts a day. So because you're going, oh, I'm not going to think. Well, the unconscious goes, ain't you? We'll have some of that. Oh, what happened yesterday? Oh, you're doing good. Is this you feeling right? Something will pop in your head. Yeah. Oh, we're going to get some beans later. Anything. Yeah. So what they should be teaching you is this, Tash. Yeah. You close your eyes and you focus on the music or you're breathing. What will happen? 1,000,000%. Yeah. A voice is going to pop in your nut and it's going to say something.
Yeah.
The minute you notice it, it's like your little puppy dog. When you first get it, you slap its bum, sit down, stay there. And it goes, when it runs off, you go, come back, sit. You train it to sit. And after a while, you go sit and it stays. And that's what you've got to train the body to do. Because it's going to want to go and play. So you go, no, you ain't gonna check Facebook. You're not going to look at Instagram. You're not checking your emails or your texts. You're not watching TV or movie. You can do all that stuff after. But for now, you can... you're gonna do what I tell you. You're gonna just sit and stay. Yeah, you're gonna obey me. So how you do that is focus on the music. As the voices pop in your nut, you have to go away. As soon as you hear the voice come, go away, remove it, and go back to focus on the music. You got to focus on one thing, just the music or just your breathing. What'll happen is 30 seconds later, it'll creep in your head again, and it'll say something else to you. And you can have a conversation, but we think, hey, what am I doing? Go away, remove it. And what you'll find is over the first 2 or 3 minutes, the voices start disappearing. They get longer gaps, and all of a sudden it'll disappear. And then you'll feel yourself going into like more of a trance-like state. And once you feel yourself sort of dipping, you're going to start thinking more in colours and emotion than you are words. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the perfect time when you're in that mindful state to then start visualising your future at a deeper level of consciousness, or just to enjoy what the images pop in your mind. Just let them flow. But you have to shut off that unconscious. You have to shut off the body by removing those voices. And people don't teach that. And it ain't hard. It's just something you've got to practice. Yeah,
no, and I will. While we're in lockdown, I am going to try and really practice. I'll start tomorrow, actually. I'll do a little story on how it all goes.
Yeah, definitely. Give it a go. That'd be lovely. But thank you for your time, Natasha.
No, thank you for having
Absolute angel. Thank you. And I'll do my podcast. When I get my podcast out, I definitely want to get you in to come on, if you wouldn't mind, because we've got loads to talk about. So thank you very much, Natasha. You've been an absolute star. Give Natasha some love, everyone. Thank you so much. Bye, Natasha. Bye. Right, guys, thanks for that. How nice was she? Real down to earth, lovely girl. A real visionary. She's achieving everything that she creates. So, you know, good on her. So keep yourself moving forward. Keep yourself visualizing. Keep yourself positive. And, you know, we'll get through this together. And I say we're all coming together as a community a bit more, as a race, should I say, as a humanity. We're all coming together. So let's stick that way, eh? Let's keep smiling at everyone in the street. Don't cost fuck all to give someone a smile. So keep giving people smiles. You know, be polite, and let's love each other and keep moving forward. So anyway, I've had a bit of a tough day today. So I've got my first glass of wine from my old Uncle Baz. So I'm going to raise this to Basil. And God bless you all. Have a good evening. And I look forward to tomorrow night. Tune in tomorrow at 7. What day is it tomorrow? My brain's gone dead. Friday night. Jack Fincham with the big white pearlies, you know, off of Love Island. So you ladies watching, your little salt's coming on here. So tune in for tomorrow night and see Jack. Yeah, he's a lovely, charming, cheeky chap. It's going to be an absolute belter. So see you tomorrow, guys. Love you.